product placement everywhere. Welcome to Think About It Reviews, and we are talking Tomorrowland, Brad Bird's new film. Now, Brad Bird, sources say that he decided not to take Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, to do this film. And he's done incredible work. I think his work is really solid. I mean, The Incredibles, Mission Impossible, Ghost Protocol. I'm not a big fan of Mission Impossible, but Ghost Protocol was pretty awesome. This stars George Clooney, Britt Robertson, and Rafi Cassidy. Going into this, I had no clue what was going on. I didn't know what the fuck this movie was about. I was just like, I was lost. I was going in there like, what is this movie about? I just know that, this is a theme park from Disney. Of course, Disney. And, that's all I know. And George Clooney's in it. And she can go into Tomorrowland and she can go into reality, so to speak. My expectations were like right here in the middle, so going into this, I had a fresh take. What you need to know is that Britt Robertson plays a girl named Casey, I believe. Casey. I'm going to see real quick. Casey. I don't want to get the names. Casey Newton. I don't want to get the names, messed up. I just saw it right now. I'm still processing what the hell I just saw. But yeah, she basically gets into a little trouble, and she gets bestowed a pin after grabbing her stuff after spending the night in jail. Then seems kind of hard to really dwell into this film without spoiling it, because there's a lot of things that the trailers don't show you, so I'm going to do the best I can. What you need to know is that she does get that pin that you see in the trailer that has that T on there for Tomorrowland, and she sees Tomorrowland, but she can't go to Tomorrowland with that pin every time she touches it because she's still warped in reality. So she has the help of George Clooney she basically needs to get to Tomorrowland. George Clooney needs to get to Tomorrowland. There's a little girl who helps them out, gets to Tomorrowland. Tomorrow, damn it, we're going to that land. This film overall was okay. It just really, the acting in here brought it down. The dialogue sometimes was that corn syrup kind of dialogue, but I think the acting just brought it down a level. I mean, especially with this girl, Rafi Cassidy, I believe, who plays Athena, who's, I shouldn't spoil it, who plays Athena, and her acting was just terrible. Her acting is this is like Anakin Skywalker terrible acting from that little girl. I'm sorry, but it is. The little kids in this film bring the movie down because their acting's not that great. Speaking of Star Wars Episode 1, the special effects in the very beginning, I think it got better along the way, but the very beginning, it reminded me of Star Wars Episode 1, the CGI, the effects. It just came off as, background kind of green screen, or just wasn't as, tight as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be well, touched up a little bit more than what we saw in the trailers, and it wasn't. You could tell it was CGI. So I was really disappointed in the special effects in this film. And that's what you need in this film, is the special effects. I guess after coming off of Mad Max, it could take a while to get back into a heavy dose of special effects for a film, but I still feel like the special effects in this film were just not up there as up to par as a lot of these movies that are coming out. Especially Avengers. I think it was like the Avengers, that opening scene. How the opening scenes of Avengers Age of Ultron, their effects wasn't that great as well. So what's going on with the effects lately? But it's not all about the effects. Like I said, it's all about the acting. I think the kids really just bring this down. I think the lead kid actress is just not that great, Athena. Oh, man, George Clooney is channeling his grumpy Harrison Ford. He was okay. He didn't really bring anything to the film, acting-wise, performance-wise. Even Britt Robertson, who plays Casey, I thought she was good. She's like a newer actress. I thought she would bring something to it. She had her moments, but she still wasn't that great of an actress. I don't know if it's the dialogue, or I think it is somewhat of the dialogue, because the dialogue in this film really felt campy and hokey sometimes, but there was a few lines at the very end where I thought, that's pretty good dialogue. But I gotta say, Britt Robertson, what I liked about her in this film is she was happy. She was enjoying herself. She would laugh, like her character would laugh and just smile. I really enjoyed that factor in her performance in this film. Now, talking about the film, I think the pacing is bad. The pacing, the tone is great. I think the tone has that happy Walt Disney flair to it, especially with the soundtrack. If the soundtrack sounded like you were entering the Tomorrowland over there at Disneyland, or Disney World, where you're going in there and you just hear that whimsical kind of music, it really fit this film. The tone was great. I think the tone was definitely, I don't want to say kid friendly, because there's a lot of violent stuff that happens in this film that seems not very kid friendly. That's the identity crisis too. It's like, is this really a kid's film? Because there's a lot of like beheading and stuff, and I know they're just there's robots in here, by the way, and the robots were campy. The robots were very campy in this film. At one point, there's robots in here, and very campy, not very, just, I didn't like the robots at all, especially the villain robots, the henchmen, so to speak. But like going back to the pacing was not very good. The pacing, I appreciate the fact that we got a backstory for both characters of George Clooney and Britt Robertson, Casey, especially Casey. Casey's back seemed to really focused on her story more, and I really did like. I couldn't believe, I was like, "Is that Tim McGraw?" Tim McGraw's in this film, and he plays Casey's dad. But the pacing, it would start off okay. We're in this boys. Like I said, the kids' performances really botched it down, but it was very mysterious, adventurous in the very beginning. But it just stays stale, honestly. Then you have a little bit of action sequences, but nothing really happens until the third act, until we finally get the reason why they're at Tomorrowland and why Tomorrowland is such a mystery. The pacing, it just feels boring. I feel bored at some points. The action sequences where you see in a trailer with George Clooney and Casey or Britt Robertson when they're being attacked in his house, that was really good. The imagination in this film is really fantastic. I think the imagination, people who just really got into this film, the director Brad Bird, I think his vision was really, really well done. This film, by all means, looks very great. The cinematography was great. It was really light. It had that adventurous type of feel. I mean, the look of this film was great, but I think the pacing is what really brought it down, and I think the acting is what really brought it down as well. And all in all, I don't think the story was that interesting. The story was, and it took a while to get to the main point of this whole damn thing. And once you found out, you're kind of like, so that's the big hoopla? That's okay. That's all right. I'll enjoy my Mad Max. You'll get that reference if you see the film. So, I mean, overall, did I hate the film? No, I didn't hate the film. Do I recommend the film? I mean, I think Pitch Perfect 2 and Mad Max, I had a way more funner time than this film. So by that, I would say, skip it. I would say I don't recommend this film in the theater. I recommend you, watching this in basically DVD or streaming it, because it just didn't really live up to a lot of. I had one with my cousin. She was very excited and didn't live up to her expectations. But I will say, I think there was kids in the theater, and I think they were enjoying it, especially this burping scene that happens in the film. But it just was kind of a letdown. I mean, Brad Bird. I think this is one of Brad Bird's weakest films, honestly. I mean, it just didn't. I expected more if it was going to be as mysterious as it was, and we were only getting a little bit from the trailers, and I think it just didn't bring it up to standards. And I watched this in RPX, and RPX is the biggest screen and surround sound that we have in our theater, so I paid that extra $15, and honestly, it just was an okay film. It does look it looks beautiful, but the CGI really brings it down, the acting really brings it down, the pacing really brings it down, but there's things to like about it, like the soundtrack, the tone of it. There is happy moments. There is imagination in here. And, there's sequences in here that will leave you really giddy and really happy. But overall, I don't recommend it. I really recommend you guys watch something else. Just wait for this on DVD or streaming. But like I said, I'm Think About It reviews is just really my opinion. If you're gonna go watch it, go watch it. If you want to go see this film, don't let me stop you. I'm just critiquing it and just telling you what I think about the film. By all means, if you want to watch it, go right ahead. Because a lot of people have different opinions. A lot of people have different tastes. Look at Man of Steel. A lot of people love that movie. A lot of people hate that movie. I like that movie. So just, no, it's really just my opinions on these reviews that I do. So thank you. And I want to hear it. I want to hear you guys' thoughts on the film if you've seen it. And if you're going to go watch it, let me know why you want to go watch it or you don't want to watch it. So let me know. Go walk out that door if you want to see it. That's all I'm saying. It's you guys are going to watch it anyway, so go ahead and check it out. It's just me telling you what I think. So thank you guys for listening. Subscribe, like, spoiler review on the way so I can dwell more into this and really talk more about what the hell happened here and there. So, and why I didn't like it, why I didn't like so much of it, and I really like some parts of it. So thank you guys for listening and have a great day. So, no. We're not going to end it like that. Grab a tick, grab a seat, make sure you got all good popcorn to eat. I see you at the cinema, guys.